Hi, I'm Peter Roper, and this is another edition of Community Buzz. Today we'll be talking with Jane Cloquet, who is a member of the team organizing Make Music Day. Thanks for coming, Jane. I'm kind of excited about this topic. So,
yes.
Tell us what Make Music Day is and when it's happening.
Make Music Day is a celebration of music. It's an event that started out in France in 1982, and it was designed to get everybody involved in making music, whether you were a professional or an amateur, whether you were old or young, no matter what instrument you played or what type of music. And it has spread around the world, and so now it's celebrated in 120 different countries and 1,000 different cities across the world. So everybody's going to be making music at the same time, and there's a lot of live feeds going on and so forth.
Cool. They've done some things like that with drumming, I think, and with dance. Special events. But this is pretty inclusive, and I think it sounds like a great idea. So eventually it did come to the United States?
Yes. Took hold, and in New York, they really grabbed onto it. And there's a group in New York that put together a software package that makes it very easy for venues and musicians to match up. And so it was spread throughout the country. Last year was the first year that Connecticut did it. And they organized it through the 7 regional arts councils in the state.
So it sounds like it's sort of self-regulating, self-organizing, somewhat?
Yeah, it's great. It's like a DIY kind of thing.
That's cool.
And it makes it very easy to put together, and as a result, doesn't take a lot of money, and it reaches a lot of people.
Yeah. So Terri had said initially you were the coordinator, but you're not actually a coordinator. You're just involved with the team.
Yes, I'm involved in the team, and my role was to support the software that is used to match up the venues and the artists. And this year also I've been working on trying to encourage more mass appeal events. Mass appeal events are where the performers make an effort to encourage the audience to take part in the performance as well, with the benefit of instruments that are donated by a number of music manufacturers, such as Hohner donates harmonicas.
Nice.
So we have a harmonica performance with Blunt White on Parade Plaza, and so he'll be handing out...
That's in New London?
Yes, in New London. And he'll be handing out harmonicas.
Oh, nice.
And also in 2 or 3 other areas, we'll be handing out the harmonicas to augment the performances. And so also, because I live in Groton, I've been helping to kind of promote and support the events in Groton.
I have to admit, I didn't hear anything about it last year, and we heard about it this year because Terri was at the town council meeting for SCCTV, and I guess someone was there from the, I don't know if it was you
Wendy
or
Berry,
someone was there
the executive
from the group,
director.
and some of the councilmen said, oh, you should do a program, so here we are.
Right, yeah.
So the Southeastern Connecticut Cultural Coalition is promoting this locally.
Right.
Who are they and what do they do other than this?
Okay, they were formed in 2012 to try to help support and promote the arts and cultural organizations in southeastern Connecticut. And they also kind of serve as a liaison to the Office of the Arts at the state. And so with when Make Music Day became an initiative on the state, they were tapped, as well as the other arts organizations in Connecticut, to be the umbrella organization for this area.
Good. Tell us a little more about last year's event. What happened, and I guess.
Well, last
how
year came
successful
together.
Was
it was the first year, so we were just kind of getting our feet wet, and it kind of started, and it was hard to get the word out about the event, but then it began to snowball, and we ended up with over 85 different performances throughout the southeastern Connecticut area. There were more than 40 different performers. Some of them played at more than one venue, and there were over 30 different venues. There was a lot concentrated in New London because there's a lot of walking traffic. And people didn't have to drive to the event. So it did sort of snowball, like I said, and then the Day did a wonderful video, which I think you mentioned that you saw.
Yeah, I went on the website and saw the video. That was pretty interesting.
And then they put put it up
Rick
on the
Costa,
website.
who's the music man in this region, did a great job talking about it. And was enthusiastic.
And the videographer, they went all day. They went from one location to another location, and then they edited it and summarized it. And they got some great quotes, and they got some great shots.
Yeah, it was a good overview, except that it was all in London.
Right.
It sounds like it's going to be bigger this year.
Yes.
And you want to give us a flavor of how much bigger, or?
Well, the deadline for signing up isn't until June 1st, and venues and performers can sign up right till the date of the event. And already we have 56 performances. We have about 47 performers that are already signed up, and about 43 venues. And this year it goes over as far as Essex, and then it's over to Stonington this year, so it's much wider. It goes up to Norwich as well, and I think we have one site up in Colchester. Nice. So, and now we have more money, we are having more signage putting up, we have more publicity, more money to spend on publicity, so we hope that as well as getting a large number of performances, we'll get a lot of people coming out and enjoying the performances as well.
Yeah, neat. So what's happening here in Groton?
Well, in Groton didn't have too much last year. It was a little bit of a sleeper. They did have, last year was the Bill Memorial Library had an event, Riverfront Children's Center, Washington Park, and Mystic had an event, Mystic Shipyard, I should say. This year, the town and the city have got much more behind it, and at Groton Town Farm, they're going to have music all day from 10 to 9, all different kinds of music, from a 10-year-old ukulele player who's wonderful.
So that's on Route 1 near the town hall, right?
Yes, it's right across from the town hall, and he has a tent for the performers. He going to have a food truck in there. He's going to have bathroom facilities and so forth. And if it rains, they're going to go to the Groton Senior Center. They're hoping to have the Groton Senior Center. And it's also kind of coordinated with the first day of the summer reading program at the library.
So that's the Groton.
Also, I don't want to forget that the music place, which is sort of right across the street from this studio near the Dunkin' Donuts on Route 1 here, they are going to have music all day long too, and they're featuring Brad Bensko, who's a local singer-songwriter who has a debut album that's coming out, as well as a number of other local bands. And so they're going to have like performances and open jam from 12 to 8, I believe.
Great. So the Parks and Rec Department is backing this?
Yes, and one more thing was the city's Park and Rec is sponsoring the Coyote River Band over at Washington Park. The town Rec and Park is helping to provide a stage for the Groton Family Farm, extension cords, extra equipment and so forth, and to help with publicity, because the Rec and Park have a huge Facebook following, and so they're going to put the events up on that so that everybody can find out about them.
And that's pretty central, so that's good.
Yes.
So if someone wants to make music or offer musicians at some venue, how does that work? How exactly does it actually work?
Go to our website, and that's
just Make Music Day is what I put in, and
it's
it came up. It's
makemusicday.org, and then when you get there, you can select Connecticut and then southeastern Connecticut. It's like it's a tile, it's a big square, and you click on that, and it will take us to our website, and then you log in and you create a profile if you're a performer, and you indicate what kind of music that you do, whether you need electricity. You can put up a video, you can put up an audio so that someone gets a sense of what kind of music you have, and you can say what kind of a venue you're looking for. Likewise, the venues, if you want to be a venue, you can log on and create a profile and say, I'm a venue, whether or not you have electricity, what kind of music you're looking for, and then it's like a matchmaking thing. You make a request. If you're a performer, you make a request of a venue. Say, I'd like to play at your venue at such and such a time. Or a venue could say, I'd like you to perform at my venue. And then it gets fine-tuned. They agree on a time, and then it gets approved by the city admin for the software, which is me.
That's for you.
Yeah.
And this only happens one day of the year, so it's
one day of the year. It's like
not, it's not spilling over into more days then. So far?
No, just one day, and it's always summer solstice every year. It's always June 21st.
And I think it said that it was started because of that day. It was to celebrate the solstice.
Yeah,
right?
celebrate the solstice, which is the longest day of the year. So you have a lot of time to celebrate music.
So you can get involved right up to the day of the activity, but if you want publicity, you should get in by June 1st,
June
I think.
1st, then you'll be part of our publicity that goes out, and our poster and so forth.
I saw they were scrolling names of groups that were performing, individuals
that
that
are
were
already
performing.
signed up. Yeah.
I didn't see locations of events, but
Yep, they were there right below it. The
Must be there
venues.
somewhere.
Yeah. There was 2 scrolls.
I think I was on my
believe.
phone doing it, so it wasn't the best way.
Yeah.
How did you happen to get hooked up with this? Are you a music person, or are you a organizer?
I'm a music fan. I love music,
Yeah.
and
I can tell.
I've had experience. I was on the board of a performing arts center. We put on 20 concerts every June and July, and I've been to see almost every kind of music. I just love music. So last year they were advertising for volunteers to help out, and I thought, I'm retired. What a wonderful way to spend my time.
Yeah. Neat. I'm glad you did. I assume you need help. You need volunteers.
We could always use volunteers.
Yeah. And can they volunteer through the website, or they have to get a hold of you?
That's good. They could. The best way, I think, probably would go to the Cultural Coalition website, which is culturesect.org. Culture, sect for Southeastern Connecticut.
Yeah.
And it's an organization, so .org.
Okay.
And I think there's a contact us.
Okay. And were you listed on the site? I can't remember if your name was there.
There's a, when you get to the point where it says, do you want to participate, or when it explains the local, what the Southeastern Cultural Coalition contributes, I'm mentioned on the site, yes, as the volunteer.
Okay. And your email, I think I saw an email, so.
I don't know if it has my email or not, but again, I'm the admin for the software, so if you send, if you choose contact, it'll come to me, or Wendy, it'll get to me.
All right. I want to hear about your favorite event from last year. I've already heard a little bit about it, but I want to hear it.
And I told a lot of people about it.
Yeah.
The Eastern Connecticut Symphony Orchestra decided they would do a Conduct Us event. And so over in Mystic at Cottrell Park, otherwise called Mystic River Park, near the drawbridge, they had about 18 symphony musicians. And then they had the podium, and on the podium there were 10 pieces of popular music, like the 1812 Overture or the Can-Can or something like that. And then they had someone who would go around and try to recruit somebody to conduct the conduct the orchestra. So at first, you know, it was the little kids that had no fear. They would go up and they'd say, I'd do it. And they'd stand up and have that power of the baton. And they'd select the piece that they wanted. They'd let the symphony know, and they'd start the symphony. And then soon it was teenagers, and then it was a father had his little kid on his shoulders, and the little kid was up there conducting.
Funny.
And then, I mean, old people like me, I had to do it, you know, so something on my bucket list, conduct an orchestra. So they're going to do that again this year, too. So the rest of you all have your chance.
Same thing, huh?
Yeah, same location, same thing.
Are there any events that are going to have dancing? I mentioned I love to dance.
Not specifically, but in many of the events, especially ones that are locations
They can't always stop you, I know
waterfront,
that. I know that.
the waterfront New London, there's lots of room to dance, and usually with good music, people can't sit still.
I know. Just a waste of music not to dance.
Yes.
In my opinion. So what kind of things are you doing to advertise this, and what do how are you promoting it?
Well, we're sending out the press releases. There's been a series already. The Connecticut Office of the Arts just sent out another one. There's a national one. It's been covered. The National Music Day is covered in Rolling Stone and in other major news outlets. And then locally, what we're doing is also we have printed posters, and we're going to be putting those out, as well as 12 by 12 inch posters that say, "I'm a location." And so that people who are going to be venues, they'll have a sign up there that'll remind people that they're a location and to come back on June 21st and enjoy the music. Performers will get, "I'm a performer," and if they're performing up until June 21st, they can put that up on the bandstand when they're performing.
Yeah, I suppose a lot of groups that are performing may have their own connections with people they can.
Yes, their own. We're doing a lot on social media. The day usually features us at least a week before.
Yeah.
And it's always in the night and day.
Yep.
They did a really
I
nice
read that
job
every
with
time
that
it comes
video.
out.
Yeah.
So it sounded like a lot of these were encouraged to be outside events.
That's a very good point. Almost all of them are outside. All events have to be free. All events have to be open to the public. And you want them to be a place where people just walking by can stop and enjoy them. So I would say almost all of them are outdoors, although some of them are in office spaces or gallery spaces that are indoors.
And some efforts being made to have tents.
Yes, if
protect people.
They're outside, especially if the bigger events, the bigger.
And so there are plans if it does rain on
Yes.
the 21st?
When venues, when they sign up, they're supposed to indicate what they have available should it rain. They might say, we don't have anything, we just have to play it by ear. But many of them have rain plans, or they can go indoors.
This just in, wondering if you've ever been to any of the events, other states or other countries? Have you ever been to France?
I haven't been to France for Make Music Day, no. But I've been to France.
Is there any video stuff available of some of the things that happen in other countries?
There's a lot. On the makemusicday.org site, that's the international site. Yeah. There are so many videos, with hundreds of people in Chicago or New York where they're all singing along, and there's some where they do live streams, and there's an event this year where it's called Band Cover, where they're asking bands to share songs, and one will play their song, and then the other band will cover it, and then they're going to so that they play it at the other opposite locations. Yeah, some of them are just very impressive and creative.
Yeah.
Sousapalooza, with Dr. Seuss kind of characters and so forth. Yeah.
And you did mention you can find out about this event on the website.
Right.
It's probably the best place to find it. And I would recommend myself that you go and check out the video of the London events, because it was
right.
fun.
And what you do is you go to our website for the Southeastern Cultural Coalition, which is makemusicday.org/southeasternct. And once you get there, in the top left, there's usually the menu where you have the 3 horizontal lines. You select that, and then you go down to Make Music Day 2018, which was last year. And then when you get there, you scroll down to what's in big capital letters, Press. And there you'll see the video. It's great. It's a great video. It gives you a real sense of what it's all about.
Yeah. So what are the different kinds of music you're expecting this year? I mean, it's almost anything, but...
It's almost anything.
But do you have a sense of who's signed up already?
Oh, yes. So we have Hugh Birdsall, who's wonderful, who plays folk acoustic rock, and he's playing also with the violinist Dana. So we have that. We have the United States Coast Guard Jazz Band, who's going to be playing in New London. In Groton, there's a whole slew of events there. And start with Hugh, I should say, and King K, who's a young rapper, Ada Florek, who's the ukulele singer, F&B Blues, a real good blues band, As Time Goes By, who's swing, I believe, Old Lime Orchestra, and acoustic soup. That right there is every different kind of music. And then Brad Densko over at Mystic Place, and they're going to have another band, Local 395, I think it's called, and they're going to have an AC/DC tribute band. So those are the ones in Groton, particularly the Coyote Band, River Band over at Washington Park. And then in other areas, we have other performances like Daphne Martin, who's a well-known, Daphne Lee Martin, who's a well-known singer-songwriter. I expect there are a number of bands that, we had a number of very popular bands that played last year, but they wait sort of to the end in case they might get a paying gig that night. And tonight, this year it's on a Friday night, which is more of a popular night
could
than
be,
even
could
last
be a paid
year.
night.
Yeah, it could be a paid night. Last year was on a Thursday night. So it's a little bit early yet, but we expect to get a lot of really well-known bands. But a lot of it also is getting performers who are going to want to bring the audience into the performance. We have the free harmonicas that are going to be distributed in Old Lyme. They're going to have like a New Orleans style jazz parade up the main street. They have from 5 to 7. They're going to have 6, 7, 8 different performers, like every block, and then they're going to have this parade, and they have a guitar picking session by the Nightingale Cafe. This year, the Mystics Nyack YMCA is going to have music as well. Up in Norwich is the Reliant Health Gallery up there. They have a big space up there, and they're going to have performances. And the Guard, all up and down Bank Street and State Street in London at the different stores, they're going to have music. And at the Guard, they have music scheduled all during the day under the marquee, and at the Fiddleheads Co-op, they have several performances already scheduled too. So it's going to be music all day.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Any choirs singing? Any bell ringers?
I tried to get the Ledger bell ringers, but I haven't gotten through them yet, and so nothing particular along that line yet. Although we have the Old Lyme Orchestra is playing in Groton at the Groton Family Farm. That's the most.
So there's an all-day schedule at the Groton Family Farm.
Yeah, all day from 10 to 9, and then 12 to 8 at the Music Place. Old Lyme, it's 5 to 7, all along the main street. New London, it's essentially all day. Well, you're basically starting at noon, I would say. And at the different stores, you can just go from one to the other, down Bank, State, and then they have Parade Plaza in the evening and the Waterfront City Pier in the evening. Down there at the Norwich, too.
Pretty impressive. But you're going to be in Mystic, conducting the orchestra?
It'll be hard to resist going back, although I wouldn't want to take anybody else's place, you know. So. Something I was just going to ask, and now it's slipped my mind. Oh, I know. Is there any event? I mean, this could be nationally, but is there any event that's more like a Live Aid concert, like with a whole bunch of bands playing all day long? Are there any events like that happening? Like a Live Aid,
like a real rock concert kind of thing, or
like a concert. Well, Groton Family Farm's going to have music all day long,
like
one after the other.
a mini version of Woodstock right there in Groton.
And Mystic Place is going to have, as well as some scheduled events, they're going to have jam sessions going all day. They have acoustic groups that play over at Mystic, at the Music Place. Like they have an acoustic group that meets monthly, and then they have another kind of music group. And so those groups will be, members will be coming and probably jamming during the day. Right. I know some of the locations, like in Hartford, they have more of a one central location where they have all the music. But, you know, in a way, a lot of this,
it sounds like.
You know, and also, as well as having the big names and so forth, you want to have musicians that are going to draw the audience into performing as well, so that the audience gets a chance to make music too.
Any places actually encouraging people to bring their own instruments and
Mostly over an old lime. People are encouraged to bring their own guitars for the guitar picking, or their own ukuleles for the Ukulele Parade. Blunt White is doing a harmonica session at Parade Plaza, New London, as I mentioned, so people can bring harmonicas there and join in. Those are the ones that come to mind.
Sounds like a great day.
Yeah.
So you think you're going to do it again next year?
Oh, I think it's going to be an annual thing.
But are you going to do it next year?
Oh, me? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're committed, huh?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, this is your chance to recap anything you think is really important. I know what I was going to ask you. You talked about finances. You got more money this year. Are you accepting donations?
Oh, we'd love to get donations. We'd love to get more sponsors. If anybody would like to sponsor it, then you'd be on our mailing list. You'd be mentioned on all our materials, and you'd be on our sponsored on our website. You'd get that extra publicity. You know, I'm sure there are people out there that love music as much as I do, and would love to contribute money to help make it happen.
I have to say, considering the political climate and the situation that we're facing now in the country, I think this is a great alternative. This is a great event to make people happy and be positive and enjoy yourself. And it's nice that it's happening.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the way I feel too. It's one thing that everybody can share together, brings people together, and something that they all have in common, I would hope, which would be a love of music.
Yeah.
And so find common
everything's
ground.
political, but I think this is about as non-political as you could get, because
Give us a
you
break.
may like another band, but that's all right. Music is music.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you coming in. So we got to remind everybody, Make Music Day. It's happening June 21st. It's free. It's going to be varied music and opportunities, so you cannot complain, because you can do it anywhere you want practically and have a good time. So thank you, Jane Cloquet. It's great that you helped me making Music Day a actual reality. I think that's exciting, and I'm glad I heard about it. So
Good.
Good luck. I hope a few people watch this and get involved, either helping or going to an event. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in to this edition of Community Buzz. I'm Peter Roper, hoping you all make the most of this opportunity to hear some free music, maybe participate in some music. On the first day of summer, sounds like a great way to kick off your summer fun, make music, and be well. Let's make some music.
Well, here we go. Summertime and the living is easy. The fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Your mama's rich and your papa's good looking. So hush, little baby, won't you cry?
Great.
It's a wrap.
Good job.